I guess, one of the concerns I had was, and I sort of approached it earlier, but, unfortunately we weren't able to have somebody here from, Department of Public Health and to look at it, But I guess one of the big concerns that I have is the impact that it has on people who are in a crisis situation, who are, perhaps have suffered their whole life, or maybe not. It was just this isolated incident where, it's reached this kind of crisis level. What impact do you believe being tased has on their ultimate recovery and PTSD perhaps, or what? I mean, it just seems like a very uncompassionate approach to it. And I'm not trying to, well, I guess I am editorializing, so I won't pretend that I'm not. But, can you give us some input on how
Well,
this
as a supervisor, I'm not allowed to editorialize.
Oh,
I looked at the research and studies by the ACLU, which has actually looked at it extensively, and they found that more often than just using tasers as a sort of a disabling tool to suppress an unruly suspect, they're used as what they call a pain compliance term. That's an ACLU term, pain compliance. And one of the ways they're used is a taser is pulled and it's arced, where they'll throw an electrical arc across the contacts to show the suspect the amount of pain they could cause that person. And that in and of itself is very threatening and can cause trauma. Even if that suspect is never struck with the taser electrodes, just seeing the arc is traumatizing. And if they are struck, yes, it is traumatizing. The actual research on whether it is causing trauma in the population is still ongoing. But there is some research to show that some very unhealthy kind of outcomes in terms of cardiac events and others. And for departments that have adopted them, they haven't shown any lower rate of in-custody deaths for officers that have tasers versus not. So it hasn't saved lives. And it looks like, according to the ACLU, it does cause trauma. And as I say, our board has taken a position against it.
I guess I'm wondering too, like in other municipalities, is the conversation actually going there? Meaning, are they having this conversation about employing the use of tasers as a way of intervening in a mental health crisis situation? Is this...
Excellent question. And in fact, our CIT is modeled after the one used by the Memphis Police Department. And while there are some in the Memphis Police Department that are advocating for tasers, they still haven't approved it yet because of these very concerns. So some have applied for tasers, but it has not yet been approved because exactly that, it undermines the whole verbal de-escalation approach of crisis intervention training. So they haven't used it.
So the source of it has been mostly the police department that's recommending this use, not public health or not mental health professionals or ACLUs or anything else. It seems to be coming from
It's coming from the police department. Our San Francisco's own mental health association, called the Mental Health Association in San Francisco, has taken a position against it.
And the mental health board, is that correct?
You're the mental health board with the Mental Health Association, actually.
I should clarify that. Yes, I'm secretary of the Mental Health Board, and we have taken a position against it too. The Mental Health Association is a nonprofit that does mental health advocacy and policy work, and they've taken a position against it. You're right, the advocacy for tasers is coming from law enforcement officials. And they will cite examples where it might save lives, and maybe in the general police force there might be situations where they save lives, but there don't seem to be appropriate tools in a mental health crisis encounter. And that's our concern. That's the wrong tool for the job.
Thank you.
Thank you.